Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about The Black Phone, 5 haunting facts you didn't know about. Let's get right into it. The film revolves around child abduction and murder. Parents should be wary of this film because it deals with child abduction and murder, both of which are sensitive topics for some. The Black Phone is based on horror author Joe Hill's short story. The film will follow Finney Shaw, a 13-year-old boy who is kidnapped and ends up in the soundproofed basement of an elusive killer known as the Grabber, an effeminate man with skin as white as paper. The Grabber kidnaps local children while posing as a magician, his most recent victim being a boy named Finney, a single filthy mattress for him to sleep on, and a disconnected rotary phone, possibly left on the wall as a sick way for the Grabber to taunt his victims, are in the basement with him. Finney will be even more surprised when the phone rings and the voices of the Grabber's previous victims answer. Determined to put an end to the killer's rampage, they assist Finney in devising an escape plan based on their own failed attempts. Meanwhile, his sister Gwen begins to have visions of Finney in captivity and uses them to try to track him down before he meets the same fate as the previous victims. The cast. The role of Ethan Hawke in the film is already known. His character enjoys wearing terrifying masks and playing mind games on his victims. Hawke is known to have a personal rule of never playing villains, but the film's director, Scott Derrickson, persuaded him to break it. Perhaps their conversation influenced Hawke to take on a second villain role in the Disney Plus Moon Knight series. This would also be the actor's fourth notable foray into the horror genre, following roles in The Purge, Sinister, and Daybreakers. Mason Thames plays Finney, whose most notable roles include For All Mankind on Apple TV Plus and a small guest appearance on the CW series Walker. Max is a character played by James Ransome. Fans may recognize him as the mature Eddie Kaspbrak in It Chapter 2, as well as from his work with Hawke in Sinister and its sequel. Emmy winner Jeremy Davies plays Finney and Gwen's father in the supporting role. Having an actor of his caliber in such a role may indicate that the film has some significance. He can undoubtedly bring real depth to the role of a bereaved father. Finally, Madeline McGrath plays Finney's sister Gwen, one of the film's main characters. The young actress has already appeared in a number of high-profile films, including Toy Story 4, Cars 3, and The Mitchells vs. the Machines, as well as a few minor roles. The head of Blumhouse Studios touts this as the scariest film he's ever worked on to date. With Jason Blum as producer, director Scott Derrickson reunites with Ethan Hawke for what is sure to be a nail-biting, horrifying experience. The head of Blumhouse Studios claims that this is the scariest film he's ever worked on. Hawke concurs, telling Slash Film that this script feels even better than Sinister, and it's more mature filmmaking. That's saying something, considering a Broadband Choices study from 2020 named Sinister the scariest film of all time based on average heart rate and viewer spikes in that rate. During the 2021 study, it was surpassed by Host, a Shudder found footage film, but it still ranks second. Critics have already praised the film, giving it a perfect critic score on Rotten Tomatoes and praising Ethan Hawke and Mason Thames' performances in particular. It currently has an 82% critic score and an 89% audience score from over 2,500 reviews, making it certified fresh. The masks helped Ethan Hawke figure out how to play the Grabber. Those masks, created by special effects makeup legend Tom Savini, were instrumental in Hawke learning how to play the Grabber. Hawke told Collider, "Based on my previous experience with Scott on Sinister, I gave him a tremendous amount of trust. I know how obsessive he is and how much smarter he is about this world and this environment than I am. So I didn't really know, and I asked a lot of questions about the mask, and I was confused by the answers, and it wasn't until I saw them that I knew how to play the part." He then added, "And the mask made him real for me in some strange way. It was like he's ashamed of himself, and that shame is driving him to even more unimaginable crimes. And that duality was confusing in a good way. It had a human logic to it, which is like, it doesn't make any sense at all." For the director of the film, this might be his most personal yet. The Black Phone is a film that Derrickson claims arose from 3 years of therapy in which the director explored the traumatic nature of his own childhood and the violence he witnessed in his school, neighborhood, and home. Of course, all of his films, including Doctor Strange, are personal in some way, but The Black Phone goes deeper than ever before. Talking to The Wrap, he said, Doctor Strange is a personal movie. I think that it feels personal to me, and I don't think anybody but me would have made that movie the way I made it. He then added, but this is a whole other level of personal. This is the most personal film I've ever made by far. That's it for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss out on any future content we'll produce for you guys. We're signing off now, but we'll be sure to catch you all in the next one.